Hello, hello, and welcome, my Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your timeless true love read, recorded in February 2021, but truly timeless. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am, the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. I know there's been a big gap in between when I put these timeless true love reads out. But, you know, my pantheons of the divine, they're very, very good at keeping me organized, Virgo that I am, said to me, you're going to be running two series simultaneously, one timeless and one timed, and that's the what do I need reads, the 8-card draws, 7-card draws, as well as the work, career, vocation reads, which are, so I have one that's on a timeline and one that's not, and they run both because these are timeless and have extended reads, all of them. So all of my timeless reads will now for sure have extended versions on Vimeo, and of course links in the description box. Some other cool stuff going on. I am now doing, if you haven't heard yet, I am doing tarot parties on Facebook on the Drawing the Circle Productions Facebook page. Yeah, I got monetized and we've had 2 so far. I upgraded my Zoom to Pro so we can all see each other, and it's a party. It's a lot of fun. Paid event, paid online event. Our first one we had drinky poos, it was like cocktail party. Second one we had pajama parties, so we're just gonna have fun with them, right? Maximum 10 participants, not including myself, obviously. Everybody gets read and it's a really good time, and because it's Zoom I can record it, and if all goes well I can send you the links. You can even watch your reading back. So it's cool, right? You know, things are evolving. I'm digging it. The other thing is my book, Words of Grace, is coming out in Kindle. We're shooting for the full moon in Virgo that Friday. Actually, it's on Saturday, but we're shooting for the waxing side of that Virgo in full moon in Virgo. That's the 22nd in February. So a lot of good stuff going on. So it's nice to get back to these timeless true love reads. I love doing them. They're just a little extra work, but I'm ready for it if you are, Caps. Shall we? We are doing a 12-card spread, 2 Carolyn Mace archetype cards, one representing you, one representing someone crossing your path on the path of true love, and we are going to build on top of that 10, count them, 10 Daughters of the Moon Tarot in a Celtic Cross. In the extended, not only will we clarify all of those with 10 of the Mythic Tarot, but I got a whole sideboard, actually, is what that is. That is a sideboard, isn't it? Full of oracles and whatnot to kind of go deeper into it, right? So I don't finish, the extended reads aren't done until I feel like they're done, and I'm a Virgo. I can be very detail oriented. So like anything else on YouTube, standard YouTube rules apply. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, check your other signs. And if you want to jump over to the extended, you're more than welcome to. Now here's the thing, a Path of True Love read, which is what this is about you. Yes, there may be twin flames and soulmates galore on the path, but it's you, your path, your healing journey, your hero's journey, your spiritual path, whatever you want to call that, your path of awakening through the lessons learned in your relationship. So it's sort of the path of true love is about divine love. It's about the truest love there is, the love of the divine as noun and verb, right? To be that is the truth of who we are, and that's what the path is about. So this is like GPS. This is just like a big old Google Maps, zooming up and looking down so that you can see where you are, so that you can make changes as needed, right? I guess that's about it. All the decks I read are always in the description box. Here's the new thing I've been saying, and I like it a lot. Both feet on the floor if you can, and focus on your breath if you will, and I will do the same to get you the best information, clarity, guidance, and grace that I can. Please take a nice deep breath. I do a good 10 minutes of breath work before I do a reading, and I've been doing that for this past series. It's been quite transformative. So let's do this. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of true love, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please, I need 2 cards. One to represent the Capricorn collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, and one for the person who crosses their path, whether it be a romantic crossing, a family thing, work, friends, whatever. What's the dominant archetypes in play? The soul powers being developed from lead to gold, shadow to light, toxic to healthy for them. February into March-ish, but timeless. It's truly a timeless read because these stories themselves are timeless. They repeat lifetime after lifetime until we nail them, until we get them right. So please, what is the card representing the Capricorn watching this, or perhaps the cross watcher, because there can be flip-flops on that if there's a cross watcher, a cross watching. And please, who crosses their path on the path of true love? February 2021 or timeless. Now again, these are timeless, so you can watch these a year from now because we're really dealing with universal themes. So just going to give that a little stir here before we flip those cards over, just to let you know that if you're new to my channel and the Carolyn Mace archetype cards in particular, they can be triggering, right? There's a shadow attribute and a light attribute listed on each card. The idea, because they're neutral, right? It's like the power of fire. It's like, well, is it good or is it evil? Is it positive or is it negative? Well, are you torching the house or lighting a candle in prayer? You get what I'm saying, right? So let's see who you are represented by. Here you got the God archetype, masculine family. Interestingly, not the divine family of archetypes. There are 9 families. You can't really see that. The God archetype is certainly the masculine family of archetype. I got a peek. Oh, okay, cool. We'll get there. The shadow attribute, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. It's a bad day. Ooh, that's a bad day, right? The light attribute, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Now, here's the beauty of this, Capricorn. It would probably be a really, really bad day in Earth School for you to resort to despotism, right? Using your power to control people. Now, there's a subtle aspect of that, passive aggression, certainly, that every sign is capable of. But I think the beauty of this card is perhaps pointing out to you that your own masculine energy right now, because everybody's got masculine and feminine energy, and they say in balance, but some days I'm like 60% feminine, 40% masculine, and then you put me around the right guy and I'm daddy 90%. So, you know, we kind of go back and forth that way. We all do. But the potential of your power, though, in terms of your masculine energy, how you're interacting with the world. Masculine, really, that's why I prefer yin and yang instead of feminine and masculine, because it doesn't involve body parts. It's an energetic dynamic. How your creative energy comes out into the world, like how you present yourself. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. This is a big deal. Really, a god, and who crosses your path as a mediator, which is actually kind of nice. A divine masculine family archetype and a wisdom family archetype, the mediator. Now, I come from lawyers, so, you know, it's like I'm well aware of the difference between a court case and a mediation, right? Anybody, whether you're talking to a judge or a mediator, they're not the same thing. So the shadow attribute of the mediator archetype, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Now, I would think this would be personally. This is a path of true love read, not a work, career, vocation read. Nonetheless, though, it's putting your thumb on the scale, right? It's a negotiation that has what? A shadow agenda. The shadow attribute of any archetype is either that which you do not want to acknowledge within yourself, or you have acknowledged it and you don't want anybody to know about it. Carolyn Mace, in her book Sacred Contracts, this is her deck of archetype cards, says that really, if you're going to do archetypal work, keep an eye on your hidden agenda, the one perhaps even hidden from you. The light attribute, though, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. You know, I just got this feeling, and it feels really nice. This is the empathic part of my work, these two together could really do anything, particularly if one of them's a Capricorn. They could slow and steady wins the race in ways that are really benevolent and healing and compassionate and of helping heal the world. But in the shadow, right? If there's no shadow, there's no alchemy, right? Who's walking around 100% gold? Well, the Dalai Lama. I'm sure there are handfuls, whatever. I ain't done yet. I'm still working it. So let's build on this. Let's get 10 more cards on the table. Now I'm going to deal these all face down first, so they're all out on the table. And then we'll turn them over one at a time. Please take a nice deep breath. Daughters of the Moon Tarot. We're looking at the heart, throat, third eye, and crown of this stuff. The personal level, the more internal, intuitive, feminine aspect of the path of true love for you, because that's what you're really going to need to know, because this is your path. So even the card that covers them is still kind of what you are getting, right? You'll see how it lays out. It's a really, really cool way of doing this. And then with the Mythic Tarot and the Extended, we look at what this looks like in the root, sacrum, and solar plexus, the physical aspects of this. Please take a nice deep breath again. My goddesses of Earth and the sign of Capricorn, who I just chatted with before I hit record. Please, 10 cards, Celtic Cross, for this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. Path of True Love read. One at a time, face down. What is the card that covers this? It's either the Capricorn or the Cross Watcher on the Path of True Love, February 2021, or Timeless. Please clarify for the Mediator. That could be the Capricorn or the Cross Watcher, I guess, if we're going to play that game. It's so holographic. Boogie, oogie, oogie. Please clarify that for me. My beloved goddesses of Earth in the sign of Capricorn. What's at the core of this? What they may not see coming, because this usually is about both of them, right? In some way, the soul contract aspect of this. What's going on at the core of the path of true love for this Capricorn and this Mediator, or however that plays itself out? What is behind them on the path of true love, bringing them into this present moment? What crowns them, sort of like what's orbiting, might land, might not, sort of immediate future, something in the quantum air, so to speak. And I've got a hair in my mouth, quantum hair. What is crowning the Capricorn here on the path of true love? What is before them on the path of true love? Yep. I felt it. It's before them on the path of true love. Thank you. A nice clean draw. What is the lesson? So sorry, excuse me. My hair has a will of its own. I'm sure you understand if you have naturally curly hair. It just does what it wants. What is this Capricorn's lesson on the path of true love, please, particularly involving this Mediator? It's all connected. There's not just like random out of nowhere. Something totally different from the outside looking in. How does this feel as an observer, how the world perceives this stuff, this path of true love for this Capricorn? What is the destiny to be hewn from fate, what they can do with what they can't change? The hero's journey led to gold, their hopes and fears, same thing. And finally, what is the most probable outcome, considering current timeline of current lifetimes, their outcome. Now that can change. Now the 6th card and the 10th card, what's before you, and the outcome, in my experience as a reader, are changeable. Sometimes you do want to change them, sometimes you don't, but readings are never carved in stone. They're written on cardboard. So my Capricorn, the God archetype, you've got the moon. All right, so look, this is a very feminine energy with a very masculine card. So I'm going to say just right off the bat, the zap that just kind of gave me, and it felt good, is that you really are balancing your inner masculine and inner feminine dynamics, your yin and your yang. Now, if that's work that you are, it might not be for everybody, but that's really strong. I mean, you've got the god with the symbol of the moon, the goddess, right? That's very powerful. Now, Yemaya, one of the Orishas here, this is a very, very powerful card of deep intuition. Yes, can be confusion as well. I see that a lot, and I understand because you can't see as clearly when the moon is out as when the sun is out. You can see the sharp edges. You can see the boundaries of things, but things might be a little confusing, occluded. I love that word. It's the root of it is the word occult, and people freak out at that word. It just means hidden or cloudy. Get over it. Like you can have an occlusion in your eye, right? Something's foggy. And maybe there is something here for a lot of you. It's like, but it also says that there's a very, very deep knowing here. There's a very, very deep intuitive thing. See, we're always on the spiritual path. Always, we are spirit. We're spirit before we're bodies, right? We're souls incarnate. So we're always on the spiritual path, but we don't always see what the path of true love is. We get lost, we get confused. But sometimes when the moon is full, if you stand by a body of water, you will see the path right before you, right? It's always there, but sometimes it's illuminated. And isn't the intuition like that too? Intuition's always there. The guidance, the grace is always there, but sometimes we need to be still enough to actually feel what we're feeling. Now, with this God archetype, for you to be able to act from a place of mystery, of trust, of faith, knowing that this path of true love, you do not control the quantum timelines of who comes and who goes and how long and where and when, but the what and the why. I want to walk the path of true love. Why? Because it is fulfilling and it is part of the divine plan for me, and it's me embodying divine love, which is kind of here in this moon card as well. I mean, there's a lot. It's very powerful. Really happy for you, Caps. Let's look at this mediator that crosses your path with 6 of Cups. Now, this card has written on it the word jealousy, which I can understand for the 7 of Cups. Sorry, did I say 6 of Cups? The 7 of Cups. Because there are maybe illusions and delusions, right? Emotions, turbulent emotions here, options, fantasies, and I get that card of jealousy, particularly if you are in that dominant position in some way. Now, already, does this have to be romantic sexual? Not in these reads. We're doing the romantic soulmate reads after I finish this one. Another timeless set with an extended, I promise. At least that's what's on my Virgo schedule. It'll get done eventually. But with a mediator there, this might be very much somebody trying to negotiate the fairness here with you, regardless of the form of relationship. Now, usually at this point, with the tarot on the table, we will know by the end of this somewhat the form, but in the extended, there are cards in over there that will tell you exactly what, or at least close to the form of what this is. I just get a weird feeling about this. This person might be very much going back and forth, weighing their options, like the mediator here, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in both personal and professional life. They might be weighing their options where it comes to you if this is a personal thing. If it is a professional thing, then watch out, because then there's professional jealousy on the table here. I don't get that, though. Not on the path. I mean, it would be a challenge for you, certainly. Everybody who crosses your path on the path of true love is a challenge. And what's at the core? 2 of Flames. This is my indecision card. Decisions really are about fire. It's just true. It's about what you want, right? Do I want that or do I want that? It's past the Ace of Flames here. I have a feeling 2 of you know each other. I'm just going to say, somebody in your life. I don't think it's somebody coming out of the blue. But the ace has now become a deuce, and it's like, well, what do we want to do? So I feel like you're both hedging your bets here. You're both trying to feel inside of yourself, but you're both doing the same thing. One emotionally maybe feeling out their options, this mediator. And you, I mean, you both kind of have water cards here, even though this is Major Arcana. The moon card is certainly connected to the sign of Cancer. Obviously, the moon pulls the tides of the oceans, both literal and emotional. So you're both sort of balancing this inside of yourselves individually. And if you do know each other, if this is a relationship that you are already in, again, could be family member, you're trying to figure out how to do this. What do I want to do? Now, I don't feel like this is a life-changing decision. We will see. What else is in this spread? If the Lover's card comes up, then yes, it is. This is more like at the stage of what you're both not aware of, is that you're both sort of going, well, it's a choice, not a decision. There's a difference. The difference between a choice and a decision is intensity. Decisions are life-changing. Getting your hair cut may seem like a choice, but sometimes it can change your life. I mean, like the power of a good stylist, honey. But you know what I mean? Sometimes what we think of as these little choices, sometimes the paradox is something really, really teeny tiny ends up being gigantic, and vice versa, right? Gigantic things that end up making very little change in our lives altogether. So there's a weighing of options here for the mediator, and there is this going deep to really feel what is the best way through this in terms of what do I want? How do I do this wisely? Coming from behind, we have an Aries. Okay, this is our first court card of the spread. This is in the past, what's behind you. And though, you know, people will say, oh, it's all three of the fire signs not in this deck. This is Calafia, the Aries card, sort of like an Amazon vibe there. But Aries, first sign of the zodiac. So this could definitely be somebody initiating something. I mean, we could have had the Ace of Wands there, or the Ace of Flames in this deck. It would have led to this same place, but I do get the feeling here, look at me crossing my solar plexus, feeling like there is a very, very strong energy of initiation here, of passion. But remember, passion, you know, doesn't always have to be sexual romantic passion there, but it does feel like this might be this mediator, right? Like this might be you met, if this is romantic sexual, if that's what you've come here for and this is making sense to you. Remember, they don't have to be a professional mediator, but you kind of get the sense of them that you're both weighing this out, and you might with that card of the moon be very much be in your feelings about this person, but it might still be relatively new. You know, what crowns this? Okay. Our second major arcana card, half of the devil card in this deck, because it's a feminist deck, they don't call it the devil. This is the Coyote Woman. Actually, powerful shamanic energy there. The coyote. It's in so many of the North American native indigenous tribes. Still trying to remember the right words. I'm trying to be politically correct as much as I can, but I suck at names to begin with. This is half the devil card. The other half is oppression. We'll see if that comes up on the table. But this card, it's so major arcana. It's really about learning a lesson. The trickster is also the teacher, and every pantheon has a trickster. Loki, Hermes, even Saint Germain, right? You know, it's like there's always a trickster. It's just an invaluable archetype. Does it mean that a trick is being played here? Well, it can mean that someone's being stealthy. It can mean that somebody's perhaps fronting a little bit for a period of time. Maybe not pretending to be something they're not, but maybe, especially with that card of Yemaya there on the inner, with the god on the outer, maybe sort of concealing their feelings a little bit here, that there might be a trick going on. Now, I say honesty is the best policy, but if you're really in your feelings about this person, I could understand you not, oh my God, it's a past life thing, I'm having dreams about them every night. It's a bit overwhelming if you just met this person. And still, inside, there's this crossroads choice. You know, it doesn't mean that you can choose you can choose yet again later. Like, that's what I feel like. I don't feel like this is life-changing. But there is something odd that's hovering in the air with this one. It might not, that's the thing about the crown chakra, right? It is the crown chakra. It may come down into physical form, it may not, but there's definitely something hanging over the heads here of both of you. That this might be, this might be a tricky situation, and here's just an example. It might not be for anybody in this reading, but I think you'll get the vibe of it this way. Office romance. Right? It's like, we're really not supposed to be doing this. Right? But with that Aries card there's passion there. There is passion there. How mature it is depends on the people involved. But in terms of it moving into a 2 here in the subconscious and what you are aware of, I think you're both feeling this out. Whoever's crossing your path emotionally, and yours in a way really emotionally, spiritually. intuitively. That'll be interesting to see what your lesson here is, because the trickster always brings a lesson. So your 7th position. But before we get there, what's before you on the path? The Witch, your 3rd major arcana cards. 3 out of 3 so far, major arcana. Definitely a path of true love read. That's what they are to begin with. But doubly so that you're going to get very, very clear inside of yourself about not just what you want, your element of fire, but what you think, what you feel, and what you want to do about it. Fire, earth, air, water, channeling spirit. This is just spirit into form. So yes, see, the trickster just flew out my hand. This trickster, I would absolutely take a look at your shadow, your fear, right? Your shadow, if you are the divine, if you are the God archetype here, despotism, cruelty, using power to control people. Because using power to control people, that can be politically as well. I mean, there's all sorts of ways. There are all different kinds of power to control people. And then the Witch. Do you see what I'm saying? There is power here. And you've got that God archetype. Now, really, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Eternal doesn't mean all of time. It means timeless, like this reading. Sorry. We are without race and gender and age in the truth of who we are. We are eternal. We're aspects of the eternal force. We're not connected. There's just one of us. That's unity consciousness. That's pure non-dualism right there. So it's recognizing that, right? Recognizing. The word cognize means to understand. Recognizing means to re-understand, re-grok it. Wrap your mind around it. Wow, stranger in a strange land. Grok. I haven't said that in a while. Yeah, and in a feeling way. There might need to be some covert stuff going on here, but I got to tell you, 3 out of 6 major arcana cards in the cross really says to me that this decision that you make might have larger implications than you realize. In other words, it might not be just a choice. It might really be a life-changing decision. Let's see, what's your lesson here? 3 of Cups, strong emotional bond between the two of you. Make new friends, keep the old. One is silver, the other gold. Apparently that's a Girl Scout thing. I wouldn't know. I wasn't a Girl Scout. I was a Boy Scout. Isn't that terrifying? I was a Boy Scout. I got a merit badge for cooking by making chocolate mousse in a Ziploc bag in the middle of the woods. You might know your son might be gay. Might be. I didn't say definitely. The 3 of Cups here for me is very much an emotional bond, but also an empathic bond. This isn't just saying that there's friendship here, and maybe this is a friendship thing. Again, if I take this out of the context of romantic sexual, this is really saying that there's a lesson of friendship here, an emotional bond, and something worthwhile. Is it soulmate? Is it twin flame? I don't know. It's not that kind of read, at least not yet. But there is this feeling with this 3 of Cups that your lesson here is to be very compassionate, very considerate, right? Benevolent, compassionate. Recognize the eternal force within both of you. Intuitively feel the connection because it's there. And that's your lesson. And that's the thing. You know what? This could even mean it doesn't look that way. It doesn't look that way. You know, the divine is in charge of the quantum hologram of life on planet Earth with all of its infinite variations and timelines and strings and all that stuff. We're not in control of that. We play the roles that they give us to play moment by moment by moment for the evolution of the soul, not so that the ego always gets its way. Well, I think they snuck you a secret agent, right? They look one way, and maybe this person, yeah, the heat, the passion is there, and maybe they are a trickster, maybe they are a player. But there's something here emotionally, a lesson to be learned, and I feel like it's not just for you. It feels like you're the one who might very well be delivering this lesson. Happens. Sometimes we learn, sometimes we teach, sometimes we do both. From the outside looking in, this is perceived as the High Priestess. That is now your 4th major arcana card out of 7, right? Am I right here? Am I right, kids? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8. Half. Sorry, because I didn't count the one in my hands. This is Isis, the High Priestess. The divine is at work here. It feels that way. I mean, literally, this is the heart, third eye crown of the path that you live. How this looks from the outside looking in, how the world would perceive it, because this isn't about the physicality. That's Mythic Tarot. We'll do that in the extended. There is mystery here. There is hidden power here, and certainly with that the moon card, Yemaya, that you've got covering you there, with our God power. A lot going on here under the surface. And I think the gods are I think they're fucking with you. I mean, if this is a come around, I mean, Mercury is still retrograde at the time of this recording, then this is something that, yes, is tricky. I get it. There's something stealthy. There's something hidden. You got the moon card, the trickster, and the High Priestess. At least we can say it feels that way with that kind of major arcana card. No, not with you representing coming into the power of the witch, drawing down that power, putting it into action. Almost like where you are right now with the moon, it's built up and reserved, charging, buffering, right? Loading. This feels like bam, right? The first card of the major arcana cycle is not the Fool, it is the Magician, and this is the card of the Magician in this deck. What's your destiny? All you got to do right now, it's another card of stealth though, you got the Seven of Blades, Seven of Swords. Now this card is called Meditation, right? It's a woman ice fishing with her dog there, kind of looking at the hole in the ice, but not just holding the spear directly over the hole in the ice so that she could just drop it when she sees the fish. So there is something about waiting and stealth. The fish don't know she's there, right? But the card is called Meditation, which is about stillness and listening, but not just listening here. Listening here. And I gotta say, your answers are within with this one. Look, if this person appears to be totally different than what you're picking up on, I understand. People lie, allude, deceive, right? Lies, illusions, deceptions, delusions. Be deluded, right? Think they're one thing when really they're another, and really believe it. I've dealt with compulsive liars. I've dated them because it was all to strengthen my intuition, which was all about trusting myself. It's really, a lot of intuition is self-esteem work, because self-esteem is a verb, not a noun. How often, how readily do we estimate ourselves as, no, I'm going with my gut on this. And this might be that you have caught the feelings for this person. I don't know. Last card down. I mean, the way that you are able to alchemize your destiny out of your fate right now is to watch and wait. There is something stealthy about this that does kind of go with this card of the coyote. I'm digging the now. I will say this: the Devil card. You hear it over and over. Oh, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. You are a Capricorn. At least Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, unless you're crotch watching. Stop saying that. I don't want to rip that off from her. Real Housewives of Tarot. Your outcome card is the Emperor Hierophant. In this deck, they merge them together, the Emperor and the Hierophant, because there actually is quite a bit in common. Definitely divine masculine energy. This is like the only solely male masculine card in this deck. And it is the healthy, balanced, divine masculine energy here, which, by the way, has mountain goats on it. This is the god Pan, the Dion, the son of goddess, right? There is something very powerfully strong here spiritually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Major Arcana, which wouldn't be such a big deal, except you got the God archetype covering you. Your outcome here is about you really feeling, being one with that Emperor within you, that divine masculine energy. Now, merge that. Yes, there's the external masculine part of that, right? Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force, but that is also the Hierophant in this same card here. So there is great spiritual growth. My only concern there with the Emperor at all is, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Because self-control is a very important thing when you have a lot of power. Believe me, I know. I mean, I joke about this, but it's true. I have a black candle, a big black pillar candle upstairs, still in the cellophane for 20 years. I'm very proud of that. I have the training, but that's not who I want to be. That's self-control too. That's being a wise emperor. You don't always throw lightning at everything, right? And maybe that's what's going on here. There might be a timeout here in this, with that Two of Flames on the inner, the coyote in the crown, right? But nonetheless, there are emotions here flowing between the two of you. If you consider yourself an empath, I mean, there are people who consider themselves an empath. They might not know exactly what that means, because there's different types of empathy. Social empathy, everybody's supposed to fucking have that, right? Oh my God, what they must be going through, right? That sympathy up a notch or 10. But the type of empathy I'm talking about here, look, I'm even crossing my lower chakras here. It's the energy you pick up from other people and in the outside world, and you feel it in your own cell tissue. It feels like there is a strong empathic bond between you and this person, and you're learning how to deal with it. Because they may be fronting one thing and feeling another. For sure, they've got emotions for you. Two, it's just, I think they're trying to balance it, because they may have other options. Now, whether or not this is romantic or not, I'm going to say yeah, just because of the amount of the major arcana. I mean, unless there's a major family thing going on in your life where you would need this much major arcana in a 10-card spread. Yeah, the Lovers isn't here, sure. But whatever it is that you want to manifest here, you are the one with the upper hand. I'm telling you that right now. That God archetype with Yemaya, the moon, it's just you may have no idea what to do. Oh, but you will. Oh, but you will. And as I learned a long time ago as a witch, considering that is the witch card, if you don't know what to cast for what to cast for. Knowledge, right? See, remember, you are Capricorn. Slow and steady wins the race, but you're also 10th house. 10th house energy is highest potential. And if we knew what our highest potential was, we would run in the opposite direction, right? We don't know. It is a journey. It is the journey up the mountain. And at the peak of every mountain is the foothills of the next. That's path of true love too. So the beauty that I'm seeing here for you in this read is that there is something divinely planned going on behind the scenes. That's true of everything. That is just absolute truth across the board. There's no part of life that is not woven into the divine plan. However, with that card, I mean, here it is. She's staring at me. The High Priestess, if you were to step out of this horizontally and look at this situation, you go, there's something going on there. It's hidden, but it's mystical. Mystical, with also the card Yemaya and the witch here and the trickster. It feels like the gods are playing a chess game here. And you are very powerful. You kind of have the upper hand here in terms of physical action. But the person that you are dealing with, this mediator, I think if you trust your gut, you're going to know that this person is trying to do this fairly. Again, this could be a friend. But it's an awful lot of major arcana card for, I don't want to say just a friendship. My friends have saved my ass from my lovers, right? Or because of my lovers that have been in my life. But with that Ten of Flames, I don't know. That feels like you're making the choice whether to see it through with this person, or at least take it from that Aries card. I mean, the passion's there. Passion is there, if that is the case. Whether or not to move this forward past the 2 into the 3 and wait. I don't even think you're at the place of waiting for this person. You don't have the 3 of Wands. You have the 3 of Cups. I think you're already feeling them. Got the card of the moon there too. I would say at least write down what you're getting intuitively and wait a week and then read it. See, there's nothing like hindsight being 2020, and I recommend that for readings too. Like I used to have a playlist on YouTube for readings that really resonated for me from other readers, and then I would watch them a week or 2 later, right, and see if they panned out. And most of the time they did. Sometimes they were right, and what I thought was going to happen was off. I wouldn't say wrong, but off. So, yeah, may the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love here, that they may alchemize that God archetype into, you know, benevolence and compassion, seeing the eternal in all things with this mediator crossing their path, that they might use their gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in this relationship, willingness to see both sides of the argument, while the Capricorn really taps into their guidance, their intuition, their feminine energy within them, even though they are presenting as a masculine family archetype. And this mediator really can feel out and be fair about what their feelings and emotions and options are, as both of them, though they don't realize both of them are doing it, are weighing this out just in the basic choices of should I call or not, should I text or not, little itty bitty things, but they're both doing that because they are both coming from this place of something initiated. Maybe they didn't see it coming, but it's there. Definitely either one of them could be represented here, because we've got Aries with the goat horns, just like the Capricorn does. Difference between fire and earth, but nonetheless something initiated here. And if this is this mediator, chances are they made the first move. Chances are now the ball is in the Capricorn's court. But what's hovering in the air here, what's grounding the situation, is there something sly, tricky. It feels like the gods are playing a game here. So may they take and channel the inspiration that comes to them, making their decision wisely, at least within themselves, coming into alignment. Learning from their own intuitive, what they're picking up from this other person, what's their own. Feeling it out. And if it feels like I don't know, it's because neither of you know. Because the divine is at work here, that they may really tap into that card of the moon and feel the High Priestess in secret, negotiating, guiding, taking care of things behind the scenes, so that all they have to do to achieve their destiny as a result of their fate and take the hero's journey of the path of true love is to be still, be silent, meditate, contemplate, and perhaps be aware of what's going on in ways that others can not, so that they, regardless of what happens here, become the emperor, the hierophant within themselves, their own power, their own stability, the four kings coming together as the emperor within them, as well as that divine nature, that seeing the eternal in all of life, that benevolence and compassion within them being manifest within their own energy field, within their own life, so that they walk this path of true love with true rewards ahead of them. Perhaps slow and steady wins the race, perhaps slow and stealthy wins the race. But nonetheless, may they be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, that whatever comes of this mediator, our Capricorns come out in their highest potential for now and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. This is going to be some extended reading, I have a feeling. So hey, if you like this part of it, hit like. You want more, subscribe, comment if you will. Which are you on here? Because I acknowledge the quantum flip-flop. If you're cross-watching, that might flip around, right? But regardless, it's been an honor reading you. I mean, particularly, I have to say, a predominance of major arcana always says that this isn't just another read, that the gods are in play here, and we are one with them, and to them we shall return, right? Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of all of this on the path of true love. February 2021 or timeless. And if you want to come tarot party with me, links below. You want to book me, find me. I ain't that hard to book. I do it every day. Anyway, wishing the very best and the very blessed of all of this, my dear Capricorns. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.